They taught you how to memorize formulas, how to pass exams, how to sit quietly and wait for permission, but no one ever taught you how money really works. No one explained why you work all month and still feel broke, why debt feels normal, or why saving feels impossible. Think about it for a second. How can a system spend years preparing you for life and skip the one skill that controls your freedom, your stress, and your future? This isn't a coincidence, and it's not because money is too complicated. The truth is uncomfortable, and that's exactly why it's rarely discussed. From the moment we enter school, we're told that good grades lead to a good job, and a good job leads to a good life. But what they don't tell you is that millions of people with degrees are drowning in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, and quietly panicking about their future. Financial education isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about understanding how money flows, how debt traps people, how assets create freedom, and why most people stay stuck without realizing why. This video isn't about blaming teachers or attacking schools. It's about exposing a system that was never designed to teach financial independence. By the end of this, you'll see clearly why financial education was left out of classrooms, who benefits from that silence, and more importantly, how you can take back control starting today. The modern school system was not built to create entrepreneurs, investors, or financially free thinkers. It was designed during the industrial age when societies needed obedient workers who could follow instructions, show up on time, and repeat tasks without questioning the system. Schools reward memorization, conformity, and compliance, not curiosity about money or ownership. You're trained to study hard so you can get a job, not to build assets or understand cash flow. Wealth-building skills encourage independence. And independence doesn't fit neatly into a system built on predictability. When you understand money, you stop depending blindly on employers, salaries, and approval. That kind of thinking doesn't benefit institutions that rely on a steady workforce. So instead of teaching how money works, schools teach how to work for money, and that subtle difference shapes entire lives without people ever realizing it. Financial education changes how people think, not just how they earn. Once you understand assets, liabilities, leverage, and risk, you begin to question everything. You start asking why you're trading time for money, why debt is pushed so aggressively, and why ownership is never discussed. Independent thinkers are powerful because they don't follow blindly. They research, they compare, and they choose differently. Systems that depend on consumption and routine don't benefit from people who understand money deeply. A financially educated person saves before spending, invests instead of consuming, and plans long-term instead of chasing short-term comfort. That mindset reduces dependency on loans, credit cards, and paycheck-to-paycheck living. Teaching this at a young age would create generations of people who think critically about money, and that level of awareness is uncomfortable for systems built on control and predictability. Money is not just numbers. It's emotional, political, and deeply personal. It exposes inequality, power structures, and uncomfortable truths about how society operates. Schools often avoid financial education because it raises questions they're not prepared to answer. Many teachers were never taught about money themselves, so they could only pass on what they know. Talking about debt, taxes, investing, and wealth can feel controversial, even dangerous, because it forces students to see beyond the surface. It reveals that hard work alone doesn't guarantee success and that the rules aren't the same for everyone. Instead of opening that door, schools stay silent. That silence keeps the system safe, but it leaves students unprepared for real life. The result is generations learning money through mistakes rather than education. Financial ignorance is incredibly profitable. Banks profit from interest, credit card companies profit from poor spending habits, and corporations profit from emotional buying. When people don't understand money, they borrow more, save less, and work longer. Student loans, personal loans, and buy now, pay later schemes thrive on confusion. Most people are never taught how interest truly works, so they underestimate how expensive debt becomes over time. A financially educated population would ask better questions and make fewer costly mistakes. But confused consumers are easy consumers. They chase status, upgrade constantly, and mistake spending for success. This isn't about conspiracy, it's about incentives. Systems reward behavior that benefits them, not behavior that frees individuals. And financial ignorance keeps the machine running smoothly. The real cost of not teaching financial education isn't just empty bank accounts, it's stress, anxiety, broken relationships, and wasted potential. Money problems are one of the leading causes of depression, burnout, and family conflict. Talented, hardworking people feel trapped, not because they lack ability, but because they lack understanding. Dreams are delayed, risks are avoided, and creativity is suppressed by fear of bills and debt. When people don't understand money, they blame themselves instead of the missing education. But once you learn how money works, everything changes. You gain clarity, confidence, and control. That knowledge turns fear into strategy. And while schools may not teach it, the responsibility and the opportunity now belongs to you. The truth is, financial education was never meant to be handed to you. It was something you were expected to discover on your own. School taught you how to follow rules, meet deadlines, and earn a paycheck, but it never taught you how to make money work for you. That gap wasn't a failure on your part. It was a missing chapter in your education. The moment you understand this, guilt turns into clarity and confusion turns into power. You stop asking why life feels so hard and start asking better questions about money, ownership, and freedom. The good news is that we live in a time where financial knowledge is no longer locked behind classrooms or elite circles. You can learn what wasn't taught, break the cycle, and rewrite your financial future. Start studying money the way you once studied exams. Teach your children what you were never taught. Because school may have shown you how to survive, but financial education is what shows you how to truly live.